Hello and welcome to Retro Breeze. Today we're going to learn how to set up and play the definitive version of the cinematic platformer Flashback on the Miyoo Mini. Flashback is a puzzle platformer with some action elements. It's an absolute masterpiece of a game, with an enthralling sci-fi world, atmosphere, and narrative. I don't want to spoil the game for new players, so I'm just going to get right into the guide. Just be aware that Flashback is one of the best games ever made and you owe yourself the chance to play it. And what better place to do so than on the Miyoo Mini? This version is a native port using an engine called Reminiscence. It doesn't emulate the game, it's a whole game engine, just like Outrun and Cannonball. In addition, we're going to be using the original Amiga soundtrack and the voice acting from the SEGA CD version of the game. This really is the best of both worlds. Well, except for the pink shirt. I'm a white shirt Conrad kind of guy. If you know, you know. In the first part of this video, we'll get the native port of the game running via the ports collection, which you can activate via the Onion installer on the latest version of Onion OS. You'll need to own a copy of Flashback for either Steam, GOG, or somewhere else. So go ahead and purchase it and install it if you need to. I'll be using the Steam version for this guide. And make sure to get the original Flashback and not the 2013 remake. Once you've got the game installed, open its installation directory, then flashback_data, streaming assets, and data. We want to copy all of the files in this folder onto our Miyoo Mini SD card. On that SD card, open emu, ports, binaries, flashback.port, then the files_here folder, and copy all of the files over. So that's it for part 1, except that launching Flashback is a really disappointing experience on the Miyoo Mini right now. On your Mini, go into ports and then Flashback to launch the game. You'll be dropped right into RetroArch with the Reminiscence core selected, and unfortunately this is just how it is right now. It's up to you to browse for the game file. The Onion documentation states that you can go into playlists and favorites to launch the game, but this has never worked out of the box for me. Instead, I go to load content, mount, SD card, then browse to the port folder that we copied the files to. Emu, ports, binaries, flashback.port, files_here. Once there, open the file named level1.map. Then select the top option to launch the game. Alright, so here we are in the game, and it looks great on the Miyoo Mini. The controls are like this by default. Hold X to sprint and jump when combined with up. You can also use this button to pick up items, interact, and shoot when you have your gun drawn. Press B to draw and holster the gun, press Y to pause and open the inventory, and A to use items. You can also map all of these controls very easily in the RetroArch menu as well. Note that there are no in-game saves, nor a menu to enter cheat codes, so be sure to use save states liberally, or just use save states at the beginning of each level for a more classic experience. Alright, so now we have the game running, but it's now time to add the Amiga music and the SEGA CD voiceovers. Open your Miyoo Mini SD card and browse back to the files_here folder for Flashback. First, we'll do the music. Now originally I had this big horrible guide where you download 4 different floppy disks, rip some files, convert them, perform an occult ritual and all that, but then I decided to just do an internet search, and I found everything you need hosted on this awesome website here, along with many other amazing Amiga soundtracks. Is this legal? I don't know, I'll let you decide. So browse to Exotica using the link in the description, and download the flashback.lha file. Open the archive using 7-zip, and copy all the mod.files into the files_here folder. That's just all the files in the archive. And that's it for the music. It should now work automatically. So if you don't want to continue with voiceovers, you can just go ahead and get playing. But if you do, we'll continue on. When it comes to the voices, I wasn't able to find a dependable place to get the file you need directly, like I was with the music. So we'll need to rip it from a copy of the game. It's a file named voice.vce. You'll need to get the SEGA CD version of Flashback in ISO format. You should be able to find an ISO copy of the game pretty easily, or you could convert a CHD or a bin/Q using something like WinBin to ISO, but I'm not going to get into that here. Once you have your ISO file, right-click it, go to 7-zip, then open Archive. You can also just right-click it and click Mount if you're on Windows 10 or above as well. Now browse into the Data folder and find the voice.vce file. Just drag that file onto the SD card with the rest of the files, and you're done. Just pop the SD card back into the Mini and play away. Actually, when you launch back into RetroArch, you can go into History and select Level 1, then add it to your favorites on the next screen for easier access via playlists and favorites. I really hope we can find a better way to launch this game at some point, but for now this is the way. I did try a few things with the launch.sh file for Flashback, but I wasn't able to get it work, so for now this is all we have. Now bear in mind you won't get voices in cutscenes, because the SEGA CD version actually had uniquely terrible cutscenes separate from the rest.
I have erased his memory. A minute's rest.
But all in-game dialogue should now have the voiceovers that you expect.
Help me, young man. I've been attacked by mutants, and I can't walk. Find my teleporter. I need urgent medical assistance.
Alrighty, that's Flashback, the masterpiece cyberpunk platformer, complete with the classic Amiga soundtrack, voiced characters, and unfortunately, Conrad in a pink shirt. Anyway, I hope you enjoy replaying this game on the Miyoo Mini. If you'd like to see Conrad's white shirt, you can try it out on the Sega Mega Drive instead. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and leave a comment. Have you played Flashback? Looking forward to the sequel that is apparently coming out? Please consider subscribing to the channel if you like my content and are looking forward to more. Thanks again for watching. This is Shem from Retro Breeze, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.